Hey everyone, Mr. Justin here at the Hernando County Public Library System, and thank you so much for joining us for another science video. Today we are talking all about static electricity. So have you ever, you don't get it down here as much, and we'll explain why in a minute, but have you ever like rubbed your feet on carpet and then you went to go touch another person or go touch a doorknob and all of a sudden, ow, there's a spark, and it kind of shocks you, not too bad, but it shocks you for a split second. Well, that's because of static electricity. And down here, you may not get it as much because of humidity, and we'll talk about humidity in a second. But everything is made up of atoms, and in the atoms in the nucleus, you've got protons, which give you a positive charge, and neutrons, which are a neutral charge or no charge. And then on the outside of everything, you've got electrons, which are negative charges. So when you create static electricity, which what we're going to do in just a minute, you're actually transferring electrons from one object to another, making that negatively charged. So let's go ahead and show you a couple different ways that you can create static electricity or see static electricity with your own eyes. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer is that this does not quite work as well when it is humid inside or outside and we have humid weather. Here in Florida, it's humid quite a bit. We're filming this on a day where it is pretty humid. So not all the experiments are going to work very well, because what happens is with humidity, you have moisture in the air, and the moisture in the air is going to make it a little harder for the static electricity to do its thing. But we'll go ahead and we'll still do the experiments we have planned. If it doesn't work as well as it should, I'll go ahead and tell you what it is supposed to do and what it's supposed to look like, and then on a day that's not very humid, you can try all these experiments at home. So what we need today, what we're going to start with, is we're going to show it with two different things. We have balloons, and I have a plastic PVC pipe. And now what's nice about plastic and latex or rubber is that they are insulators. They do not conduct electricity. They're insulators, so electricity, they don't hold an electric charge, which is what we need for this experiment. All right, so what we're going to start though is we're going to start with the balloon, and we're going to blow this balloon up. Okay, and then tie a knot. If it's hard to tie a balloon knot, you can ask an adult or someone older to help you out. It can be kind of tricky. I feel like I just recently learned how to tie a balloon knot. There we go, right there. And then one thing that you can do in order to create static electricity, like I said, is going to be the transfer of electrons, and that latex and rubber does not conduct electricity very well. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my own head, and I'm just going to rub the balloon on my own hair. And now I don't have long hair, so you probably won't see this very well, but if you bring the balloon up, you might be able to see that your hair sticks up a little bit. It might be really hard to see on camera, especially with shorter hair. But what you can do is you can go to somebody, either a parent or a sibling or a friend that might have hair, put the balloon up to them a little bit, and you can actually see the hair rising up and going towards the balloon. So again, what's happening is when you're rubbing the balloon onto your hair, you're actually transferring the electrons from your hair to the balloon, negatively charging the balloon. And then when you put it next to your hair that is now has deficit, it doesn't have the electrons that it normally does, it's actually reaching up and being attracted to the balloon. Have you all heard opposites attract? That's what's happening here. If you have something that's positively charged or it has a lack of electrons, it is going to be attracted to something with a negative charge or filled with electrons. And so if something were to have the same charge, they would repel and go away from each other. But if they have opposite charges, a negative charge and a positive charge, all because of the distribution of electrons, it's going to attract towards it. So I'm going to try this one more time. And then to do that, and you might be able to see that your hair is sticking up. Again, it's hard to see because with the camera, and I have a little shorter hair, but you can try it with somebody who has longer hair, and that would be a lot of fun. So I'm going to rub it again, and the other thing you can do is to see And I was trying this earlier today. It was not working. I did it last night when it was not as humid. It worked perfectly. You can see if you can stick it on a wall like that. You can see it's a little bit of friction, but right now it's not going to do that. But what's going to happen is when your balloon, the part that you rub with your hair, you're going to electrically charge it. And the wall's got no charge or a positive charge, so it's actually going to stick to each other. So the balloon's going to stick to the wall. Right now, again, it's a little humid, so it's not working for me, but you can try it on a day it's not as humid. I actually was testing it out last night, and I had a balloon on the wall for about 5 minutes before it fell off. And that was kind of cool because, again, the wall had a different charge than the balloon, so it kind of attracted to each other, and it just kind of stuck there. But with it being a little humid today, it's not going to work as well. So we're going to do one more thing with the balloon before we go to the PVC pipe. I'm going to rub the balloon one more time with my hair, create that negative charge. I've got a plate full of paper, full of confetti, and I'm going to go ahead, bring this down, and what would happen was if it wasn't humid, the paper would be attracted to the balloon and would go straight up to the balloon. And that's not happening because it is very humid today. And again, because the paper is positively charged, it has, and then the balloon has extra electrons, the paper is going to be attracted and jump up onto the balloon. All right, let's do our last activity of the day and hope that this one works, because everything else has not worked for me today. Okay, so let's go ahead and do, we need an empty aluminum can. I'm going to put it right here on the table. And in this case, I'm going to take the PVC pipe, and this is going to be a little cloth. Wool's going to work. This has polyester in it. Polyester does too. And so I'm going to take that. 100% cotton is not going to work very well for this, but I'm going to take an end of the pipe, and I'm going to go ahead and twist and turn and rub this and hopefully get a charge. And again, we're transferring the electrons from the towel, from the cloth, to the PVC pipe. And then I'm going to put the PVC pipe in front of the can. And let's see what happens. Here we go. And then there we go. And we can see that the can is now attracted to the PVC pipe because of the electric charge. Let's try that one more time. Get it back over here. Because the can does not have the electric charge and has this normal number of electrons, and the rod with the after we put the cloth on it is going to have a lot more electrons. It's going to have that charge. The can, they have opposite charges, so the can is going to be attracted to the rod. So at least we got one experiment working today. And again, if it wasn't as humid as it is outside, it would actually be rolling a little better, but we got it going. And again, try these experiments on a day that is not so humid outside, day or night, and you would be able to be a little more successful than I was today. But static electricity is very cool. There's a lot of cool different experiments you can do with it. Another one I like to do is, again, rub the balloon, put a little, turn a faucet in a sink on, and the water's going to drip a little bit, and then not super drippy, but you want the water to go down. Once you're done charging the balloon with your hair, you're going to go ahead and put it next to the water, and you'll see that the water is actually going to go ahead and bend towards the balloon, because again, the water does not have an electric charge. The negative charge, the balloon does, and so again, they're going to attract because the opposites attract, and it's kind of cool watching the stream of water bend towards the balloon. So that's another thing you can do. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you learned a little bit about static electricity. There's a lot of cool experiments you can do with static electricity, so make sure and explore out there. And thank you again for joining us, and hopefully you'll join us next week. Bye, everyone.